did you see anybody wielding a set of these? No. Why? Because that takes real skill. Because I'm just like a normal shearer, but much cooler. Now, we've got 7 different breeds of sheep up on the stage. We go from the hill to the upland, to the crosses, to the down breeds, and then we've got a little bit of variety to finish with. Now, the first couple of breeds down in the corner here are our hill sheep. We've got a speckly faced chap with horns, little Larry, and he is a lonk. He's a native of Lancashire, and it's only a very, very small area where their native home range is. And the reason why we have so many different breeds all around England is because we've got different ground, different weather, different topography. What works on one side of the Pennines doesn't necessarily work on the others, because you've got 2 different weather systems, haven't you? There we go. Now, our hill sheep. Generally, you'll find they'll be smaller in the body than your down breed sheep or your low country sheep. Little Larry on the end there, he's one of the biggest of the hill sheep. He's also got one of the finest wools of all of the hill sheep. So he's a bit of an oddball. And all the way through the world of sheep and all your different breeds, there's loads of different rules. And you'll find things that break them all the time. So, hill breed lives on the hill all his life. The word lonk, a Lancashire term meaning lanky. So he's a big long sheep. Next to him, our Black Welsh Mountain. You can see how much smaller she is. She's 2 years old, he's only a year old. So he's going to grow to be a much bigger sheep than she is, but they're both hill breeds of sheep. She has got wool which is much coarser than his, and that's what they worked out. Works best for them up on the hill. The coarse wool helps them to shed the water much better. And normally you find that they are open in the fleece. They've worked out it's a little bit better to be a little bit breezy and dry than it is to be not quite so breezy and wet. Because that's the enemy of the sheep, being wet and cold. It takes a lot of energy to keep warm when that wet gets right down onto the skin. Now, the farmer with those hill sheep up there on the hill, they thought, well, we want to improve our production statistics, because everything's driven by bean counters now, isn't it? Everything. So the farmer's looking to extract everything they possibly can. They want a bit more. Unfortunately, the growing season up there on the hill is quite short. Quite often they won't get their lambs fit to get away to market by the end of the growing season. So, well, what else can we use as a cash crop? So they started developing a hybrid that's got the combined toughness of your hill breeds and the size and milking and mothering ability of your upland breeds. So they started crossing those together. You then came up with a hybrid which produces lots of lambs and produces lots of milk and is hardy. This one here, with a speckly face, she is a Masher. She's a Teeswater cross Dales bred. And some people might say that they're a little bit keen. She's pretty lively. Most of the other sheep up here on the stage are first timers up here today, as is she. There's one sheep still straining at the lead. All the others are, oh yeah, okay, this is alright. But she'll keep on fighting it for quite some time. They are pretty wild. But even though they're wild, they're good mums. And they're hardy, and they'll give us 2 lambs apiece. But she has one big failing. She's not really built like Charles Atlas, is she? She hasn't got that real chunky build that you want for your meat lambs. So you then have to cross her again to get lots of lambs that are well muscled for your meat lambs. That's where your down breeds start coming in. This one here is an Oxford down. She's one of the biggest of the down breeds. Many years ago these were very, very popular because wool was the main crop and mutton was the secondary crop. You might get 4 or 5 clips of wool off a sheep and you would then have mutton at the end of its life. But now most of the production is centred towards lamb. Now, we've got a couple of oddball sheep down the end here. We've got a large white-faced sheep here. She comes from Devon. Anybody have a guess at what the breed is? It's not a particularly common sheep. She does live out there on the moors. She's a Devon close wool. Lots of people have probably heard of grey-faced Dartmoors, Exmoor Horns, all sorts of things like that. But this breed here, sort of fallen from popularity through people just not knowing about it. It's got wool that's a lot finer and a lot softer than a lot of the other moors sheep from Devon and Cornwall. So in a lot of ways, she's actually a very, very useful dual-purpose sheep. She's got the size to give you the good carcass, and she's got some fairly good wool. You would think if they did that, the farmers would flock to them, wouldn't you? What's up, Bill? What's up? Now, the last sheep that's down the end. Anybody here been to Kent? Romney Marsh? You've seen the big flocks of Romney Marsh sheep that run down across the marsh still? Large, white-faced sheep. She is a half Romney. And most of her characteristics, body type, body size, things like that, shape, are attributed to her Romney ancestry. The last bit that fines up her wool and makes her much, much softer and finer in the wool than most of the other Romneys is she's got a little bit of merino in there. So she gets a little bit of this sort of shine on her face. She's got that from the merino. But nonetheless, a good dual-purpose sheep. The Romney went all over the world. Very, very popular in New Zealand and Australia. Good dual-purpose sheep. And they would once again cross this sheep with the down-breed sheep to actually improve the quality of the meat lambs. Anybody here remember Canterbury lamb? Well, Canterbury lamb was a South Down ram on a Romney ewe. That was the only breed that they used to use, was a South Down on the Romney. Now, it's getting late in the afternoon, so moving swiftly on. Should we have a go at shearing a sheep? Let's have a look out the back and see if we've got any left. What? We're out. What, you mean we're out?
Yeah.
None left?
That one up
None
there.
left?
That one up there.
None left?
That's right.
None left? Okay. Winston, do you want a haircut? Do you want a haircut, my old fruit? No? Ah. We've been shearing all of her mates this afternoon. Come on, little girl. This way on. There we go. Now, Trouble is, most of the time, when you're working with sheep, they are four-wheel drive sheep. And I'm only a two-wheel drive shearer. So you've got to improve the odds a little in your favour. Anybody here seen machine shearing before? Hands up. Right. What's the first thing that, when they pull the cord, what's the first thing that happens?
Noise.
What's a noise? And when you put that handpiece onto the sheep, that noise and vibration translates into an upset sheep. So, when we're blade shearing, we're almost getting the peaceful, easy feeling. That'd make great lyrics for a song someday, wouldn't it? You can hear it, just peaceful, easy feeling. No fuss, no bother, no vibration, no heat. And believe it or not, it all runs on cider. Here we go. Just calm down. Now when you're going up the neck and around here, you've got to be a bit careful. It's just under the skin going up here, there's some very important plumbing. And the sheep gets awful upset if you disturb that plumbing. The crowd doesn't like it much either. You can see that while I'm blade shearing, it's terribly slow, isn't it? I know people that can't machine shear this quick. Nice and steady does it, and you can see we're just gently massaging the sheep around as we're shearing, and we're leaving wool on that sheep. And because we're leaving wool on that sheep, this sheep will actually grow more wool in 12 months than one if we chose to machine shear. And it's all down to the thermal stress that they feel. We're leaving somewhere in the vicinity of ½ an inch of wool on that sheep. And if you think about it, it's fairly warm during the day and fairly cool during the night. And if you took all your clothes off, stood out in the middle of the field all day, you'd feel hot and you'd get sunburned. Sheep are just the same. So we leave a little bit of protection on them. And it helps them have that peaceful, easy feeling. I still reckon that idea about the song lyrics is a winner. Now, as you go round the sheep, you can see there's lots and lots of corners. So we move shears over the body of the sheep, going round corners. With the machine shears, you try and run more along the body of the sheep. With the blade shears and how they work, you're working around the body of the sheep more. And because of that, I try and shorten that distance up. By squeezing up that last side of the sheep. There we go, a little bit more to come off there. We're on to that last hind leg. Nice and steady does it, working our way down towards the hock. Little lift of the wool to make sure it's not pulling the skin. And there we have one neatly shorn sheep. Just like that. Here we go. Number 34. Your time is up.